Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. In this video, we're on the topic of how state governors play a crucial role in how they impact or how they can impact the 2024 general election when it comes to endorsements and how they can each carry their candidate, either Joe Biden or Donald Trump, and help them improve a state or actually flip a state. But before we begin with the actual video, I do want to mention channel memberships. The link to the channel memberships will be pinned in the comment section down below, or scroll down this video. It will be found in the description. You can just click the join button on my channel page. Join today, become a member today. It's that easy, it's that simple. We have custom emojis, custom perks. Use the custom emojis in the comment section as well when you comment on a video. Now back to the actual video. Start off this video, let's begin with the Rust Belt state of Michigan. Back in the 2022 midterms, Gretchen Whitmer defeated her Republican opponent, Tudor Dixon, by double digits. Yes, double digits, by nearly 10 percentage points, meaning she improved on her previous margin from 2018. And because the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, is so liked, Michiganders like her, she's so approved of, she's so popular, maybe if she would come out with an endorsement on Joe Biden, it would positively affect his campaign and negatively hurt Donald Trump's campaign, because maybe she can, carry Joe Biden to possible victory. She's someone who talks good about Joe Biden. She praises Joe Biden, and I would not be shocked if she endorses Joe Biden, which at this point it looks like she might. Maybe she can carry her popularness from the state of Michigan and carry it over to the general election. And because she's so approved of and she won by so much, if her voters, if she can get the same turnout that she got in the 2022 governor's race to turn out for Joe Biden, if Gretchen Whitmer can get her base specifically, to turn out for Joe Biden the way they did for her in the 2022 midterms, I think Joe Biden can improve on his margin from Michigan. But at this point in time, Michigan would be lean in the lean column for Joe Biden. And that's going to be the first state I will be filling out in this video. I think Gretchen Whitmer can help Joe Biden in the state of Michigan, and I think she plays a crucial role, and just not only her, but other governors play a crucial role in the general election, which is something that people are not really talking about. And I get it. If you think that the governor's race does not, you cannot compare it to the actual general election. The governor's race and the general election is not comparable because they're just two completely different things. For example, New Hampshire, they have a Republican governor, but obviously they elected Joe Biden. So obviously the governor's race is completely different from the actual general election, which I agree on. But specifically on this video topic, where they can actually play a crucial role in the general election, I think that's something that, can actually be comparable. As we all know, Brian Kemp and Donald Trump do not have the best relations, which is one reason why, one factor on why Joe Biden actually flipped the state of Georgia back in 2020. But obviously, I think blue Georgia back in 2020 was a little bit of a fluke year. Number one, we had COVID. Number two, obviously, high turnout from the African-American voters for Joe Biden, which I do not expect him to get the same turnout that he did. I think he might drop to 70%, as low as 70%. When it comes to black voters, I don't think he will get the same turnout. I don't think he might not even get 80%. And considering that Georgia was a fluke year when it went to Joe Biden in 2020, and I'm not saying this off the top of my head, it really was a fluke year. Number one, Joe Biden got extremely high turnout from African-American voters, and also obviously we had COVID, and then, what happened with January 6th, Brian Kemp did not have good relations with Donald Trump. And I do not expect Brian Kemp to, endorse Donald Trump. I just don't think that's going to happen. But I'm just saying, if it does happen, maybe Brian Kemp can possibly carry Donald Trump to a victory and maybe help improve his margin. Because as we all know, Georgia voted for Trump in 2016 by nearly 5.5 percentage points. And obviously, it was a fluke year in 2020, and it went to Joe Biden, which I don't think it will go to him, regardless if, regardless if Brian Kemp endorses Trump or not. I still think Trump is going to win Georgia regardless, by around a lean margin of 3 percentage points. But what I'm saying is, governors can play a crucial role. For example, if Brian Kemp can help carry Trump, if he can endorse him to a victory, it will be very big for the Trump campaign, which do I think he will? No, I don't think Brian Kemp likes Donald Trump. They just don't have good relations, and that's going to help Joe Biden. It only helps Joe Biden, honestly. obviously Brian Kemp improved of his margin from 2018. He defeated Stacey Abrams by 7 percentage points. So he's so popular. Georgians like him. The voters of Georgia like Brian Kemp. He has a high approval rating. And what I'm saying is maybe he can help carry Trump to a victory. But I don't think he's going to endorse him. So at the end of the day, I would characterize Georgia lean for Donald Trump. Another Rust Belt state of Pennsylvania, and this time it's going to be in favor of Joe Biden. Josh Shapiro defeated Doug Mastriano by double digits, by nearly 14 percentage points. Yes, 14 percentage points for the Democrat Josh Shapiro. And this is someone who is favored in the state of Pennsylvania. He is well known, he is popular, he is approved of. And I think Josh Shapiro is a very strong candidate on the Democratic side, which is why he won by the way he did, by the margin he did by so much. And I think if Josh Shapiro can come out with an endorsement on Joe Biden, if he can get the same turnout that he himself got, and maybe it would be the same for Joe Biden, maybe not the same, obviously, but, somewhat close to, not the margin of Josh Shapiro, obviously 14%, that's not going to happen. But if Josh Shapiro could help carry Joe Biden to a victory or actually improve on his margin because he already won it in 2020, I think you would be looking at a very more bluer Pennsylvania. And obviously Republicans shot themselves in the foot back in the 2022 midterms. But if, Democrats, Joe Biden specifically, if he can get the right messaging out, and if, he can, if he can get the backing, the support of the blue collar workers, the Rust Belt, middle class, the hard-working class, if Joe Biden can get those type of voters specifically on his side, then I think Pennsylvania would vote for Joe Biden once again by probably a tilt-to-lean margin. I would say tilt, but if Josh Shapiro does back Joe Biden, I think he can improve on his margin and make it to a lean margin. So we will be filling Pennsylvania lean for Joe Biden with the backing, with the support of Josh Shapiro, the governor, who is very popular in the state of Pennsylvania. So if he can carry on, if he can keep popularness to Joe Biden, I think it will be only good news for Joe Biden and the Rust Belt state of Pennsylvania. So when it comes to governors playing a crucial role in the general election, I think the Rust Belt specifically would probably favor Joe Biden more than it would to Donald Trump, because obviously the Rust Belt, every single Rust Belt state has a Democratic governor for Joe Biden. And now the next state, Joe Biden with the backing of the governor. And now moving on to the next state of Texas. Greg Abbott is extremely popular. He defeated Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke obviously lost twice, once in the Senate, once in the governor's race. So he's clearly a failed Democratic candidate. Greg Abbott is very popular in Texas. He's very approved of, high approval rating. Specifically goes to show you that you don't want to mess around with Texans. You don't want to play around with Texans because they like their governor in Greg Abbott. Donald Trump, this is good for Trump. They have very good relations, unlike Brian Kemp in Georgia. Brian Kemp and Greg Abbott is the complete opposite when it comes to liking or disliking Donald Trump. As we all know, Greg Abbott is the polar opposite of Brian Kemp. Greg Abbott adores Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Brian Kemp does not like Donald Trump. So when it comes to Texas, I think Trump can improve on his margin. Obviously, he won it by nearly 6% in 2020. So maybe he can improve on his margin in the state of Texas. Greg Abbott winning by double digits, nearly 10 percentage points. If the Greg Abbott base can turn out for Donald Trump, which I think they probably will, I think you're looking at a likely margin. I would be putting Texas likely for Donald Trump. Florida, Ron DeSantis. Nobody expected him to nearly win by 20 percentage points. He won by 19 percentage points on the dot exactly. No one expected that. And Charlie Crist, a failed candidate who was a former Republican but switched parties, he didn't even get 40%. He got 39.9%. If he couldn't even get 40%, that goes to show you that how red of a state Florida is. Back with the Obama administration, it was once known as this purple state. But ever since Trump took office in 2016, ever since the Trump era, Florida has abandoned the Democratic Party, and Ron DeSantis had made sure that Republicans would gerrymander in the state to make it a safe Republican state. But at this point in time, it's likely it very well could be safe. Obviously, the margin Ron DeSantis won it by nearly 19 percentage points is a safe margin. So, if the DeSantis base can turn out for Trump, which I think they would, obviously Ron DeSantis, as we all know, endorsed Donald Trump. So with DeSantis backing Donald Trump, I think if Trump could get the same turnout Ron DeSantis got, obviously not nearly 19 percentage points. I think in the general election it will be closer because that general election is not really comparable to the governor's race. But I think we can see an example. I think maybe Trump could actually crack 10%. He might get double digits with the endorsement of Ron DeSantis. Trump maybe might get double digits in Florida. But at this point, I think Ron DeSantis officially endorsing Donald Trump in the state of Florida only means good news for Donald Trump. And it's going to be arguably in the future a safe Republican state. If not, it is already. But at this point, I am going to leave Florida in the likely column for Donald Trump. The next state is going to be the state of Nevada. Nevada went to Joe Lombardo, the Republican governor, by about a little bit over a percentage point, 1.2% to be exact. So over, about a percentage point on Donald Trump. Joe Lombardo, and it obviously is a Trump type of candidate. Trump placed him there, I believe. And if they have good relations with, at this point, they do. Unlike Brian Kemp in Georgia. So Joe Lombardo and Trump have good ties to each other. And with that being said, if Joe Lombardo would back Donald Trump, if you were to support Donald Trump, maybe you would be looking at a red Nevada in 2024 instead of a blue Nevada in 2024, which we're talking about futuristic-wise. Nevada is expected to be a Republican state in the future, which at this point, it's a toss-up, and it's a swing state. The map would look completely different if we're talking my actual 2024 presidential election prediction, because with the governors playing a crucial role, the map would look different. Like I mentioned, instead of a red Nevada, I personally have it blue for Joe Biden. But if, these governors play a crucial role, I would change the map like I am in this video. So instead of tilt for Joe Biden, I'm going to characterize Nevada tilt for Donald Trump with the backing of their governor. So that's why governors actually play a crucial role, which is people are not really talking about this. Virginia. Glenn Youngkin won back in 2022 by around 1 to 2 percentage points. No one thought he would. He overperformed, and he was the underdog, and he upsetted the Democratic former governor of Virginia. And the main reason why Glenn Youngkin, which led to his victory, the main reason why he won was because he distanced himself from Donald Trump. He did not include Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form, and the fact that he distanced himself from Trump is the main reason why he won in Virginia, because as we all know, Virginia is a state that is not like Trump type of candidates. So, in my opinion, I think Glenn Youngkin, if he wants to win again in the governor's race in Virginia, he should stay away from Donald Trump, because once he endorses Donald Trump, he might not win because his margin was just so slim. Obviously, he's so much approved of, and he's popular in the state of Virginia, so if Glenn Youngkin can come out with an endorsement of Donald Trump, maybe it'll make the state more competitive, more closer, but regardless, I still think Biden should win the state of Virginia. But instead of a likely margin, maybe it would be a lean margin with the backing of Glenn Youngkin. Last and final state before I end off the video is the Sunbelt state of Arizona. As we all know, Arizona elected back in 2022 recently a Democratic governor for the first time in a long time. Arizona has been voting Republican governors for the past couple decades. Now they recently voted their Democratic governor for the first time in a long time. And I believe it was the former Attorney General of the state of Arizona. Obviously, Kari Lake is a terrible candidate. Main reason why Democrats won the governor's race in Arizona was because Republicans shot themselves in the foot. And Donald Trump should have endorsed someone else other than Kari Lake. She almost won. So considering that, I mean, if, the current governor, Democratic governor of Arizona could come out with endorsement on Joe Biden, which good news for Joe Biden because he already won the state. So maybe he would improve on his margin. Instead of, under a percentage point, he would get over a percentage point with the backing of the current Democratic governor of Arizona. She may not be that much approved of, whether she is or not. I mean, she is the current governor of Arizona, so maybe she can help carry Joe Biden to a victory, maybe expand on his margin. So there you guys go. This is my final map. This is the end of the video on which states their governors help Trump in and which state governors actually help Joe Biden in. These states that, play a crucial role that can help Trump in the 2024 election is Nevada, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. The states, governors that can help Joe Biden in 2024 is Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Let me know what states you agree with, what states you disagree with. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And one last final reminder before I end out this video. Memberships, the link will be pinned in the comment section down below or in the description, or you can just click the join button on my channel page. And don't forget to subscribe, as we are approaching 1,000 subscribers.